Welcome everybody to Banana Bread Trades. My name is Goose and today we are talking about the long-awaited power trades. What are they? How do I use them? And how can you use them to be a better trader? But first, in the description, I linked my Discord. A group of professional traders and we decided to make a little community where experienced traders can talk to other traders that they know are doing this successfully. And also, if you're a newer trader, you can learn from traders that you know are doing this successfully. People who are actually trading. You don't have to worry about whether or not this dude's fake, this dude's sim trading, this dude seems sketchy, something seems off here. No, the stuff in here, it's real from people who have actually been trading. It's a great community. It's free. Remember, I don't charge anyone for any of this shit. When I started, it was hard. It doesn't need to be. All this information is out there for free. You just need a place where you can dissect it and filter through all the garbage that's on the internet these days. And that's what we're trying to create with this community. So go ahead, hop in. You don't have to. I don't care. But if you want to, it's there. So back to the power trades. Let's get into this and let's have some fun. So what is a power trade and how are they useful in futures trading? Power trades are simply just an indicator that highlight where X number of contracts are being traded in X number of seconds. For example, my settings for ES are when 2,000 contracts get traded in 3 seconds. And as you can see down in the graph below, when that happens, it is highlighted by this little yellow box. That little yellow box indicates to me that's where the power trade itself is happening, and then I will start to make decisions based off that. But what are power trades? What are they good for? Well, they are a great signal for the beginning or ends of trends, and when lined up with a level of interest, they can make for a great pivot point or entry point for us traders to make a trade and confidently pick a direction for the market to go. And we will go over how I do that in the upcoming slides. So how do I use a power trade? Well, remember, power trades are a great signal for the start or end of a trend. I don't want to use a power trade specifically alone. I just want to use it as an aid for confirmation of a theory. Right? Because a power trade could just happen randomly in the middle of nowhere, right? And that doesn't really give us much help. We want to see a power trade happen and see all this volume come in and these big players come in at a level of interest. What I will do is I will look for these power trades to happen at these specific volume levels that I already have marked out, support and resistance, major trend lines. Or for me specifically, I really like watching initial balance and watching for these power trades to happen at initial balance. And when I see that happen, then that's when we use our tools, right? We use delta, time and sales, heat map, DOM, etc. All of these things that we use as traders, we use that at this level, and we just use power trade as an extra help of a confirmation of this theory that the big players are playing at this level that we are watching. So how do I specifically like to play this? Well, I like to look for power trades, like I said, at initial balance, high or low. Using my tools, I'll decide if I want price to stay inside initial balance, or if delta looks really strong, I'll be like, hey, we're probably going to break initial balance, and I'll trade the retest. Regardless, having these power trades happen at my level is for sure going to give me 1 to 3 trading opportunities if I can play them correctly. So yeah, let's talk about my ideal power trade setup with initial balance and how I would like to ideally play this correctly. It doesn't always happen exactly this way, but this is the setup that I salivate about and dream about at night. When I go to bed at night, I'm thinking about this exact day right here. And some days it happens and some days it doesn't, but when it does, holy cow, do I get pated. So we look for the first 30 minutes to be kind of garbage, right? A lot of stuff's going on. Okay, we're not playing the first 30 minutes. And then let's say we get to about 5 minutes or so before the first hour of initial balance post, right? So we're getting really close. We're up towards the high of the day. A power trade happens, right? A big spike happens, power trade happens, and we're at initial balance high. The hour mark has kind of moved through, and we're kind of chopping around here. This is where I will be using my tools such as DOM, time and sales, delta. I'll be watching all those really closely to see if any big sellers step in or if buyers kind of start to get ate up. If I see that happening, I'll get short with a stop right above this power trade. and then I'll look normally for just a scalp, right? But if I'm going to hold for a longer trade, or if I have multiple contracts on, I'll take one off maybe 5 to 10 points down, and then I'll hold the other one for maybe a target of VWAP. But I'm morely a scalper. I'm just looking to get my 5 to 10 points and get out. So that's trade number one, right? And if, let's say, we break above that power trade, then we move over here to what we call trade number two, right? So let's say price comes back up and we come test this level again. We can take the short at the retest of the power trade, expecting the person who got short here to defend their position, right? But sometimes that doesn't always happen. Sometimes delta is just too strong, buyers are too strong, and we're going to break that level. That's what I was talking about here. When we break above initial balance, we don't get long initially, we wait, right? I don't take the long off the power trade initially off of this initial balance break. I will wait for the retest to come back down, test this power trade, and expect those buyers to support initial balance high and this power trade, right? We have two levels lined up right here. I'll expect them to defend that and then continue the uptrend. And this is where I will be getting long. However, if that doesn't work out, if delta looks weak or we get to this level, I will then short. And on that second rejection, I'm definitely looking for a longer move down, right? If I'm trading two contracts, I'll take one off at, like I said, 5 to 10 points. And I might hold the second one, maybe to initial balance low, for sure at least VWAP on that second rejection. And this is, like I said, this is my ideal setup. Now, this could also be flipped, right? We could be longing initial balance low and, the breakdown below. You can use this both ways, right? But this is just kind of my ideal setup with initial balance. So now that we kind of walk through like what the ideal setup is, let's go through some actual real world examples, because it's never quite this perfect, but I mean, sometimes it is pretty good. In this case, it's pretty nice. So we have our power trade. It happens right there about the hour mark. This actually happens just like a little bit before 9:30. 8:30 is market open my time. I'm CST, so Chicago time. So 9:30, this happens right before 9:30. We get a power trade right there. Initial balance high, wicks up a little bit. Price moves away, and then we get this little bit of a retest here. And this is where we would kind of make our decision with using our tools like, hey, does delta look really strong? Does delta look weak? Do we get a delta flip? What's time and sales doing? And this is where we make our decision whether or not we're going to short this power trade or not, right? This initial power trade happened way too fast for us to have been able to trade real time, right? This was a quick wick, and then all of a sudden we're going down. I would have missed it, right? So we get this retest, we get a second chance. We're watching all of our tools to decide if we want to get long or short, looking for sellers, or looking for delta to flip to negative, all that fun stuff. Here we can see it rejects and it goes down to VWAP. Then we get a little bit of a spike, comes back down and plays around, playing with our hearts. This is actually a little bit of a power trade rejection. You could have taken this too. I did not that day. But yeah, so we eventually make another move up towards the power trade again. At this time, this is like what, our third retest of this power trade. The more you test a level or a power trade, the more likely it is to break, right? So at this time, we're starting to get a little sus, right? We've tested it one, and here's a second time, and now we're up to our third test. And also at this point, I remember on this day that delta was very abnormally strong, right? We're pushing above 1K delta on this day. You can go back on your time. This is 1/13/2023. Watch delta. Like go to your market replay, watch delta at this time. It's very strong, right? So we sit flat and we just let this happen. We break above the power trade, and then we know like, hey, the sellers did not defend their position. Maybe we're in store for an uptrend, but they sold back off. And like I said, we just kind of chopped around this level before we eventually broke out above this power trade, right? We broke out above initial balance, above the power trade as a clear level of support, and uptrended the rest of the day. But what did that power trade give us? It gave us a clear and defined level along with initial balance, a clear and defined level to trade off of. It told us, hey, this is the level that people are watching. It's either going to reject here, and if it breaks above, we're probably in for an uptrend. And that's exactly what happened. We rejected, but buyers reloaded, and we uptrended after we broke it. So up next is another example of a power trade. However, this is one that I don't necessarily take every time. Number one, it happens in the first 30 minutes, and my personal rule is to not trade in the first 30 minutes. Sometimes it does happen, and I yell at myself for it like every time, but if the setup's too good, I gotta take it. But either way, this one happens in the first 5 minutes of the day, and I don't disregard ones that happen in the first 30 minutes. I just don't trade them. What happens is we dump pretty hard, and then a bunch of contracts get traded. We put in a bunch of volume down here at this low. We couldn't close below this power trade, and we ended up reversing the trend and uptrending the rest of the day. But like I said, this isn't necessarily something that I would be good at trading because it happens in the first 30 minutes. I might be able to catch that first 30-minute rotation, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I would have taken this trade cleanly. But it is a signal that the trend was reversing, even if it was early in the day. What I don't do is I don't take into consideration anything that happens in murder algo or the last 10 minutes of the day when everyone is exiting all these big positions. I don't pay attention to those, but the ones that open, I do pay attention to. I just can't ever seem to take them cleanly myself because the risk is a little higher than I personally would like. Now, if I took it with less contracts, I could probably do it, but if I want to take it with less contracts, is it really a trade worth taking, in my opinion? Now, here is the example from the first page when you guys first started watching this video. If you've made it this far, thank you very much. And then now we're going to talk about this trade a little bit more in depth. What happens here is we get to initial balance low post, and we get a power trade also at that level. What happens is delta gets pretty heavy, sellers get heavy, and we end up breaking below that power trade. Now, I probably would have tried the long on this and then got biffed on the long. And like I said, that happens. I love taking the initial balance first reversal if a power trade is there. So I probably would have taken a stop here if I didn't get out for a scalp. I don't think we barely moved 5 points, so I might not have gotten out here. But what happens is we break below, right? We break below this power trade, and then we downtrend pretty hard for a while, right? This is a pretty nasty sell-off. But then we get closer to another level of interest that I had marked out earlier. It's kind of a wide zone, I know. Not exactly proud of it, but it happens. And we get another power trade. Sellers get weak, they can't continue on, and then we reversed this trend. Now, this isn't a power trade. I probably would have been very great at taking either. You can see how wide my zone is. It doesn't happen exactly at my level. It's not an initial balance, but it is a signal that if you are short right here, right, we break below this initial balance. A lot of people would get short right here. You see this power trade happen. It is a signal to get out of your short because big players are starting to step in. And that is how we use that on the break of initial balance. See that power trade? We know, hey, this trend might be ending. We should probably exit any runners that we have going. And so that's what we would do right here is we would want to exit our runners when we see another power trade happen further down the road. And what happens? The trend does reverse. But as you can see here, we go back and test that initial power trade at initial balance low. And those big players, they stepped in, they defended their position, and we continued the downtrend. So that is a little bit of a way you can see how power trades can help you identify when to take profit and when to stay or double down in a position. Now in this next power trade, you can see we get a break of VWAP. We get a big power trade happen, but you can look down here below. I have it on this chart actually. Delta was super red, and I wish I had the numbers on here so I can show you. But Delta was a little red in the next candle. We didn't get a Delta flip. We didn't get, using our tools, this is a great example of why you have to have other tools with your power trade. Using our tools, we would need to see buyers step in or a delta flip from mad red to mad green. And that doesn't happen here. So the power trade actually breaks and we go back down to initial balance low. And as you can see, I did long initial balance low, but that's not the trade we're talking about here. The trade we're talking about would be the retest of this power trade. So we come back up here, we retest this power trade right here, which is also lined up with VWAP. That gives us two solid reasons to short. We watch our tools, we watch delta, we watch time and sales, we watch the DOM, heat map. And if all those things agree, we can get short at this. We got two other things supporting the theory that we should continue down. We can get short. As you can see, I did get short and the continuation of the short happened. And so here's our last example for today. Here's another power trade. We get a break of VWAP. We use our tools to determine, hey, is this going to hold or is it not going to hold? We would decide based on that if we want to take the long or wait for a retest of a short. Price continues down. We actually get another power trade. I had clicked on this one, so it turned blue, right? So another power trade happens here, but it's not really at any level that we have marked out, right? So we don't put too much weight on it. Price then comes back up, retests our previous power trade. This would be the spot where we would watch delta, time and sales, and a heat map, book map, whatever, to decide, hey, do we want to take the short? If we get short right here, then we can hold this short pretty confidently if we're aiming for our next level. And then would you look at that, we get a power trade in our next level that we had marked out. As we were talking about earlier, this would be a great sign and signal, be like, hey, you should probably get out of your short because the trend could be reversing right here, right? So if I have any runners left, I'm probably going to exit them right there. And as you can see what happens, we do break below that power trade a little bit, but buyers were very strong. And upon that rejection and that refusal to close below the power trade, market trended up pretty hard the rest of the day. Well, that's all we got for power trades for today. If you want more examples or have any other questions, feel free to hit me in the comments or come join the Discord. I have a whole channel that is just dedicated to power trade examples, me walking through them, and I post anytime we get a power trade or have a good power trade day. I will post that example in that channel. So we have a whole running list of different examples, how to use them, how I use them. And there's other people in the core too that also use them for their style of trading. So you can come learn from them as well. Again, it's free. Anyone can join. If you did make it this far in the video, thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot for you actually watching this far through. You don't think I'm that garbage, or you do think I'm that garbage, and that's okay too. Because I don't know, I just like helping people. When I started trading this, I don't know, it was hard to cipher through all the garbage on the internet, right? What do people actually use that's helpful consistently? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this channel and with the Discord, is give you guys some information that's useful. It's not just garbage, it's not just clickbait, it's something that I actually use and it works. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to delete the video, because I'm not going to put something out there that doesn't work for me, right? If it doesn't work for me, I don't use it, I won't have it out there. This is something I use pretty consistently all the time. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you in the next one.